adventurism is driving me to go deep into the Onyama mines. It is the biggest coal mine in the whole of South. Well, the coronation of the new Oni is a watershed in the history of the Yoruba land generally, and Ife in particular. Now, because they have a leader now, that will... Simply put, Gura is a beautiful countryside with awesome landscapes. If something differently would be done to the Nigerian textile industries, that our youth would be employed. Many people that attend the church here can tell you.
Service in Holy Rosa is infinite.
We are taking a canoe tour of the communities on the bank of River Niger in Kesu. When God decides to create northern Borno, He makes it green. He makes it such an extensive land, it does not seem to stop, and rich in small vegetation, light or large trees. At its uppermost boundary, He puts Lake Chad there and its multiple water channels. To understand the wisdom of heaven on this score, any land area that is at least 150 kilometers within its radius cannot starve of food, and food in flattering variety. The people within this catchment area have this amazing gallery of crops at bonfire level without bothering too much fertilizer. The soil takes care of that. At specific locations, cropping is 3 times a year and the land produces with the integrity. Crops apart, fishing is an all year-round activity and extensive. Perhaps no part of the country boasts such fishing activity and fish trade on the scale that segment of northern Borno does. It is a heaven in wilderness. The area is also a famous trade route, international trade route especially. The Lake Chad connects some 4 countries, and the water is a platform for cross-boundary trade for centuries. In the first decade or more, northern Borno, and in fact a significant portion of Borno state, had gone through trial of monumental proportion that alters human society and created massive dislocation and anarchy. There is not a section of northern Borno that is not affected by these upheavals. It stopped the agriculture, the fishing, the international trade, and displaced the communities. There is, however, no way these events could change the natural disposition of the land, the water system, and the people. Mercifully, the combined efforts of the military and Borno State government are overcoming the activities of insurgents, and the communities are being secured, and people are going back to their ancestral homes. Those resettled earlier have gone back to the land. There are others with a spectacular story that are only going back now. They are the people of Kukawa, some 200 kilometers north of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Kukawa, the headquarters of Kukawa local government area, is a unique story. We took the 8-hour journey by road ahead of the planned resettlement of the people of the area. The road journey is pleasing because of its suspense. Your mind is always wandering between expectation and silent fear. It happened that many townships that earlier had their people displaced by insurgents along that route are now returned. But the entire 200-kilometer landscape from Maiduguri to Kukawa is still under active military operations. Motorists do not transit from one big town to another without military clearance, or in specific situations like in our case, without an end-to-end escort. The trip can be tardy because of its protocols, but it also has its high points. Our train anchored at Munguno, some 180 kilometers north of Maiduguri, just to catch our breath and exercise some protocol of nature and faith. While there, we captured an amazing scenario, and our large train will have to excuse us. We ran into an interesting scenario in Munguno. You know what? Hundreds of youth, women and children, we saw them coming out of the farm. They do not seem to stop. Their number does not seem to cease. You know what? It is interesting that most of the people that are living in these areas are people that have recently been resettled. Because of the activities of Boko Haram, they have been out of their homes for a long time. Now they have returned home and they have fully embraced agriculture. The people of Munguno were some of the earliest resettled communities in northern Borno. They have barely resettled at their ancestral homes and are into life struggle for livelihood. The picture here is like the entire town and adjoining villages have found vacation in agriculture. Nobody seems to miss out. We actually call these lovely things of their return. It is just amazing. Many are coming back with the firewood. Many only have their farm implements. Many carry fodder for their livestock. The farmland seems to be distant too. A clear pointer that there is improved sense of security and that the local community can pursue their life activity in peace.
I am a returnee. We farm what we eat, and we are happy. Last year, the harvest failed, but if rain is sufficient this year, we will have enough to eat.
Last year, the harvest was poor, but we have hope for a better harvest this year.
One of the most abiding pictures were of trucks that are loading farmers back from the farmlands. It is a miracle those communities still have them around. All around northern Borno, Boko Haram had released burning the houses and vehicles of people, and in fact anything of value. In the meantime, the vehicles seem real farm companions.
When we took these IDPs back to their ancestral homes, the governor has given them palliatives. And at every point, when he gives palliative, he will write down the date of that palliative. Then he will give them at least 3 months within which to come back again to give the same palliatives, pending when they will take the pieces of their lives. So by doing that, now is the rainy season. In preparatory to the rainy season, we have referred 15 tractors to each of the local governments.
If we must take the distractions on our way, our transit to Kukawa can last a day or more. But Kukawa is a compelling story. It will be a sin to miss it. Of all the local government headquarters in northern Borno, Kukawa is the one still to reintegrate its displaced citizens, at least not until now. Look at the picture of the town. It is a place in dissolution. There is not a single structure in this historical township that is in its right shape. The people of Kukawa that are returning now are coming to no house, in the very least, and they are coming back in fantastic numbers. The military have given the Borno State government the go-ahead to bring the people of Kukawa back. Hitherto, not a single civilian lives in the town. The military and civilian JTF are the only residents. At their mobilized home now, they live a life of transition in a small community, some 9 kilometers to the town of Kukawa. It is called Cross Kawa. The people of Cross Kawa have earlier been mobilized back and are going through life activities unhindered, thanks to an army brigade at their beck and call. In fact, it is the main business center for the soldiers of the brigade. This is the place where the people of Kukawa are landed before their entry to their ancestral home in Kukawa, which they had badly missed. One of the most heartwarming developments in the fight against insurgency in the Northeast is the fact that communities across various local governments are going back to their homes after years of being internally displaced persons in lands other than their own. Now, we are around Kukawa, in Kukawa local government area of Borno State. Now, this is one of the farthest areas of the state, some 200 kilometers from Borno. These people have been out of their places for almost 6 to 7 years. Now they are coming back. And you can see them lining up in hundreds as they get ready to go back to their own houses. Many of them will have it will be a time for reunion. Many of them will be time for a new life. Many of them were born in the IDP camp. They have never been in touch with their father's land or their mother's land. They are going to be there now. Here, the people are being prepared for the last lap of their journey back to their lost home. They go through re-identification, cross-examination and reclassification. Fatigue is written all over their body and anxiety, but the prospect of being home at last inspired them. For a person that has been displaced from his own land for onward of 10, 7 to 8 years, displaced and out of his area of comfort and to a community where he knows next to nothing, obviously, when he comes back, the kind of stories he tells must be a human story, must be very touching. Now, this is precisely the situation with these people. There are hundreds of them, and they are coming back to reunite with their families after 10 years. The stories can make for a bestseller. Here, this woman who was out of Kukawa for 14 years. The story Hajja here is telling me is that when she left Kukawa 14 years ago, on the event when the insurgency actually began, this young lady here was just 2 months old. Today, when they are coming back to Kukawa, the girl is already 14 years old and a woman. Obviously, it has been quite a long time. But during that time, she has been moving from Kukawa to various areas, running away from the activities of the insurgents. So it has not been very easy. And also, she has 4 children now, but she lost her husband. As she lost her husband, she's now coming back to no house, to no relation. The whole exercise at Cross Kawa is conducted and supervised by the military, the police and civilian JTF. The exercise was prolonged for absence of clear organization, and many of the returnees look much in a panic mode. They don't want to be left out. Eventually, they are loaded in military trucks for the last lap of their journey. Many were allowed access to civilian vehicles. Many ventured to take the short distance on foot, but were denied. End to end, the tired pilgrims had to go through military clearance. Well, probably the readers of the scripture may have a picture of the similarity with what is happening now. This is the great trek back home. These are people of Kukawa local government area who have been displaced, some of them more than 14 years ago. Now they are making a triumph entry back to their homeland after those 14 years sojourn as internally displaced persons. No thanks to the activities of insurgents, and in fact no thanks to all the displacement that they have suffered as a result of that. Now you can see them, they are coming back.
One thing we need to understand is that shorter-term solutions are not sustainable. We need to invest in medium and longer-term sustainable solutions. Because feeding people at IDP camps, providing palliatives by government and non-governmental organizations to the displaced communities is no longer sustainable. The only solution is for people to go back to their farmlands. And this can only be possible through resettlement, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement.
Before they are allowed to trade their homes, the people are stationed at various locations to go through some return procedures. The procedures seem to take a long time but are necessary. The people are not lost also on their responsibility in terms of their safety and they come back.
Back home, our government and security combined brought us back. We are bringing our family back and cooperating with government and security agencies for greater peace. I have been here for 5 days. I am excited. I have found my old house and I am good.
The following day, before everyone is allowed to go home, each returnee was given a definite amount to kickstart life. The money is provided by the state government and shared by Kukawa local government officials. A male gets 50,000 naira, a female 20. No returnee registered and given a FRIO identification number is omitted. The males were addressed first, afterward the females. Many of the recipients look happy with the gesture as they look forward to a life back home.
Alhamdulillah, I'm gonna ala gabsana da baraze. Well, ala gabsana da baraze. Ala se baraze.
Ala maya ganaza. Ala baraza. Ala maswa adapsu. Ala shunda ashiri shikaraza.
We spoke to some of the officials on what does this event signify to the local government.
I'm excited. I am exuberant. The crescendo is so high because Kukawa is the light of our hearts. It is the light of our hearts, and we're so happy for the effort of resettlement of His Excellency. He spearheaded this liberation of Kukawa town, and 19th Brigade Commander General Ahmed. The sacrifice and patriotism is beyond words.
The military officials reinforced the need for the returnees to be their brothers' keepers and keep their ears close to the ground to report suspicious persons or activity, reinforcing their responsibility to guarantee their peace and safety. The military officials also pledges to reopen their market in a short while, as well as the critical role they may require to conduct their life activities day to day. The biggest story for these people is when they go back to their homes, they really have a story to tell. One of the interesting and probably the nicest story I have to tell is of somebody who has now identified his own home, and now he is coming to, cultivate it so that he can build his house again. He has been here 5 days ago and he has been able to locate his own house, and now he's trying to fix it so that at least he can settle with his family. So let's hear from him. Malam barka da aiki.
Barka da aiki.
Ya gida sa?
Barka da.
Ka dawo kenan gida?
Nan na dawo gida Monguno ne.
I ran as far as Niger Republic. As a refugee, I spent 10 years in Niger. We are most grateful for the return exercise. May Allah sustain us everlasting peace. We came back to our houses, but they were down. No place to sleep. We appeal for support to make even a makeshift shelter. I brought back all my 3 wives and 14 children.
Ba gurin sunkuyawa. Muna rogo dan Allah dan Annabi a taimaka mana da ko wata leda ko wani abu inda zamu dan kafe da iyalinmu. Wannan shine da. Ka dawo da iyalena ko kai kadai ka dawo? Na dawo da iyalena har guda 3, mata 3 nake da. Kai kadai? Ni kadai, ina da yara 14. Yara 14? Haka ne.
We follow Lamido Hassan to the place he keeps his 3 wives and 9 children. It is a real life management. Well, this is the apartment Abdulhamid Hassan has gotten from his friend when he returns from his internally displaced location somewhere around Borno State. Now, it is beautiful because many of the people that came back do not actually have as good a place as he has. But then, of course, he has also found his place and is clearing it, so that he can rebuild it. In yet another scenario, this woman sits at where her home used to be. but she seems to be at a loss in what is next for her. Nobody can read her mind. Yet, there is this man also. He identified the space where his house used to be and just leave his soul out around it. He has no worries in this world. Even his bag is not to bother him. He needs to rest his tired soul.
Well, this is the story I would like to tell. This man, Malam Umarame Inji, is a beautiful storyteller. He is one of the several people that have come back to Kukawa after their displacement. He told us that for 14 years he's out of this place, but this is his land, where what he bought in 1974 at 40 naira. And during his lifetime there, he has given birth to 19 children. 10 are alive, 9 are dead, but the place is still there. And now, when the land is clear, when people are asked to return to Kukawa after the military has secured the place clean, that people can come back, Malam Umar has come back.
We are back in Kukawa now. No place to sleep, no food to eat. There is not a single house in Kukawa with a roof on top of it. Yesterday it rained heavily and everyone was drenched. We usually park ourselves in a mosque for the night.
The human stories are innumerable. One landmark was again achieved on the day. For the first time in over 14 years, Friday prayer is offered at Kukawa Central Mosque. When the Muezzin rendered the call to prayer, the atmosphere was sober and gratifying. It is home at last. As the real return activities continue to make headway, the government of Borno State made sure it shows appreciation to the activities of civilian JTF in Kuka local government area. As the returnees arrive home, the government sent forth assorted food items and allowances to the civilian JTF. The General Commander JTF in entire Kuka local government area could not conceal his appreciation.
Inshallah, the gesture will support us in no small measure. We will be more committed to our work. The security agencies have been cooperating with us. We work together. Our hope is may Allah grant our nation eternal peace. May Allah bless this.
I spoke to the Borno State Governor, Babagana Umar Zulum, on what are the expectations of the state from these people.
People should engage in the agricultural activities. People should start earning their means of livelihood by themselves. Because without which, no government or no organization in the whole world can feed its citizens in a sustainable manner. And one way that we shall get out of this crisis is by addressing some of the root causes of the insurgency, which are not limited to poverty and then increasing inequality, and therefore returning back people to the community.
For emphasis, Kuka local government area is the most economically vibrant section of Borno State. Fertile soil apart, it is the home local government of Baga and Doron Baga, the famed township that boasts the most vibrant fish market in Nigeria. In essence, it holds vast economic significance to the state and the nation. Generally, however, as the people of Kukawa return, they have a mini market at ready. They can buy things they need. Their biggest challenge, however, is where to sleep with their family.
What I want from them is to give us unalloyed cooperation and to help us with some of our confederates in the outer trenches to come back into town. Because now I want them to understand the Kukawa town is safe. Kukawa town is now resettled. The Monday market is going to come back soon within the next 2 weeks. And everybody within the environs outside can now come and participate with commercial activity over here.
And which live activity to pursue at once. In the coming days, more displaced Kukawa communities will be returning home, and gradually, the ancient town may regain its aura and spirit and be the only place its people call home.